So you have been operating in Poland for some time now, and what are your main observations concerning our market?
I think the Polish market, especially in the last 12 months, has been really exciting for us. We've seen our user base, our users double since February, really. So it's one of the fastest growing markets in the world for Facebook. On the flip side of it, we have a tremendous advertiser base that's developing both small businesses and large businesses. And the developer community, people building Facebook applications, is very robust in Warsaw. So we're really pleased about all parts of our business in the Polish market.
And how many people are working on developing of Polish Facebook version?
Oh, so that's the really interesting thing. It's something that 3 years ago, when we decided to internationalize the company, that we made a very specific decision, which is we were going to do it differently from other companies. So the history of the internet, including folks like Google and Microsoft and Yahoo's, if you wanted to open in a country, you would develop a local URL, so you develop facebook.pl. You come into the market, you put product managers, you translate, you'd have advertising people, you'd have functional groups like HR and finance, and we just didn't think that was the way to do it. So we actually used what we call an application and created a translation application that allowed our users to translate into every language in the world. So we actually have no employees to sit in Poland.
And what about Maciej Kołodziejczak? He is here responsible for business.
So Arbo is one of our partners, and Arbo is our representative in the market that's interacting with the advertising community. So what we elected to do in the Polish market, because instead of building a full entity in the marketplace, which takes time and energy and lots of investment and resources, we decided to go to one of the local experts at the Arbo Interactive team, and for them to become our representatives to the advertising community in the market. And we announced that relationship earlier this year, and it's been a great relationship to date.
And what about Maciej Kołodziejczak? He is a one-man office of Facebook in Poland.
He's doing a lot of the growth. So he's working on what we call growth initiatives, which means interacting with the telecommunication businesses, with the media companies to help them understand how they can integrate Facebook into their world. And so he's focused on helping us build our user base in the marketplace.
I'm asking about how many people, because I have heard that many Polish developers are disappointed because they have no way to communicate with anyone from Facebook when they have some problems with working.
So it's a good question. What we do is we're still a small company, so we have 2,000 employees globally with the company, and I always joke because when I was living in London, Google had 2,000 employees sitting in Victoria. One of the areas that we're spending a lot of time now is how do we make sure we're supporting local developer community, and how do we support local advertisers when we don't have people in the markets. And so you'll see the developer community will see is an increased reflection of that. It might not be having local Polish employees sitting in the market supporting. We'll have folks in Dublin, for example, which is our international headquarters, that are focused on local market application and developers.
And for instance, if my fan page will be banned from Facebook, what should I do?
So there are tools that allow you to do that, and I know that it's not a perfect world. There'll be some frustrations, but if you're a user, you can easily report that. A lot of what we built is allowing users and developers and advertisers to be self-sufficient. Yep. Typically, things don't get shut down. It doesn't happen very often. When it does, people will get frustrated.
Yes, they do.
There are mechanisms by which, for the reporting structure, to go through and do it. If it's been taken down for violation of terms and conditions for whatever reason, that's a different story than if it got taken down inadvertently by an administrator or something like that. We're trying to service the business as best we can across all of our different constituents, small to mid-sized businesses, all the way up through the international, big international brands we work with.
And do you plan to expand your team in Poland?
We have to prioritize around the world. The answer is, at some point, I'd imagine, I can't guarantee, I'd imagine there'd be a team in Poland. We don't have plans to expand that team in 2011 because there are lots of priority markets around the world that we have to balance. And we think that what's happening in Poland right now is really, really good. So between the user side, the developer community, and the advertiser growth, we're seeing great results, great trends across the board, and we want to make sure we're encouraging that and supporting that. But it doesn't necessarily mean we'll have to put people into the market today.
So what are your plans for Poland?
Well, I think we'll continue. We're not the kind of company that does radical things, right? We iterate. So we introduce product on a global scale. For example, we introduced the Places product, which is a geo-based target, as I'm sure you're familiar with. We launched that in the US. We've launched it now into Western Europe and a couple of the Asian markets, and we'll continue to extend that out. And it'll be in Central and Eastern Europe, I'd imagine, in the next 120 days, I'd say, probably Q1, to be realistic. We launched our Credits product, which allows users to interact with brands or developer community and pay for things, transactions. We launched that in the US primarily with a handful of developers, and we're iterating on that to make sure it's robust enough, scalable enough to launch globally. So those are the kinds of things we're doing, and we look at our three constituents, our users, developers, and advertisers, and prioritize within each of those. And so we just keep test and iterate.
Okay, and what do you think about your main competitor, about Nasza Klasa?
Yeah.
They are still the biggest player.
Absolutely.
And what is your opinion about Facebook and Nasza Klasa on one market?
And we don't really do. I mean, everybody asks me this question, and we don't really take opinions on that. So we don't judge ourselves based on how well we do against one person versus another. We look at our own growth, and we look at our own users, and we look at our data very almost on an hourly basis, right? We're really focused on if we can deliver value to our users and continue to allow them to connect and share with with their friends and family in a way that brings value to them, then our business will grow. There's been a Nasza Klasa in most markets around the world, right? Whether it's an Orchid in India and Brazil, or whether it's a Skyrock in France, or wherever it might be. We see those types of competitors. We don't focus on them. We try and just focus on our business, and over time, hopefully we'll be successful.
Okay, thank you very much.
Sure, thank you.